The Art of Dealing with People, written by likable, shows us how to achieve our goals, handle the human ego, become a master conversationalist, and make others feel good about themselves. This book gives us the tool to master the art of dealing with people. This book is a self-help guide written by likable. This book shows us how to achieve our goals, handle the human ego, become a master conversationalist, and make others feel good about themselves. This book gives us the tool to master the art of dealing with people. This blog post aims to provide a comprehensive overview of the book, The Art of Dealing with People. Having personally read and learned from the book, I am excited to share its valuable insights on building positive relationships with others. Whether you don't have the time to read the entire book or want a brief overview, this summary will give you a helpful glimpse into its contents. Chapter 1. Thinking Creatively About Human Relations. All of us want two things in life: success and happiness, and the common denominator to all success and happiness is other people. Learning how to deal with people is 85% of the success road covered in any business, occupation, or profession, and 99% of personal happiness is achieved if one learns how to deal with people. Human relations is the science of dealing with people in such a way that our egos and their egos do not clash. Real success and satisfaction come from getting along with people. More than 90% of people are not successful in their life because they do not understand the art of dealing with people. If we think about the people we know who are the most successful and enjoy life the most, who have a way with people. We cannot force people to like us, and we most likely never really get what we want because we have never mastered the art of dealing with people. Human relations skills are similar to skills in any other field in that success depends on understanding and mastering certain general principles. Basic principles are the same, yet each individual we meet is different. Influencing people is an art, not a gimmick. This book aims to give knowledge based upon an understanding of human nature, why people act the way they do. The one successful way to get what we want from life is to acquire the skill of dealing with people. Chapter 2. Understanding the Human Ego. The word egotism has a negative connotation because it causes destructive things, but if we look at the other side of this word, it can also cause people to act nobly and heroically. According to Edward Bach, an editor and humanitarian, ego is a divine spark planted in man, and those who can light this divine spark within them accomplish great things. We cannot treat people as machines because every human being has a unique and individual personality. And people have this powerful drive to defend this vital something against all enemies. 4 facts to be printed on our minds. 1. We are all egoists. 2. We are more interested in ourselves than in anything else. 3. Every person we meet wants to feel important and to amount to something. 4. There is a craving in everyone for the approval of others so that he can approve of himself. If we are on good terms with ourselves, we are on good terms with others. So once we start to like ourselves better, we can like others better. Ego hunger is as universal and natural as the hunger for food. Food for the ego serves the same purpose as food for the body: self-preservation. The body needs food to survive, and the ego needs respect, approval, and a sense of accomplishment. When a person lets go of food for a day or two, he becomes starving, and his personality changes. Nothing pleases him, and he snaps at people. It is very much the same for a self-centered person. Nature demands a certain amount of self-acceptance and self-approval for a healthy, wholesome personality. When self-esteem is high, people are easy to get along with. They are cheerful, generous, tolerant, and willing to listen to others' ideas. In addition, they can think of the need of others. When self-esteem is low, trouble comes easily, and self-esteem gets low enough, almost anything can become a threat. To deal with this kind of people, help them to like themselves. Look for good points in them, things which can be praised. Form the habit of paying at least 5 sincere compliments daily and check how smoother our relationship with others becomes. Help others to like themselves better and satisfy their hunger for self-esteem. Chapter 3. The Importance of Making Others Feel Important. We all are millionaires in human relations, but we don't realize we possess it. It is within our power to make people like themselves better, and it is within our power to make them feel appreciated and accepted. We must use this wealth as much as possible, and it will never finish. We should not suppose that just because someone is successful or famous, they do not need a feeling of importance. We need to feel that other people recognize and acknowledge our importance. No person can maintain his dignity and worth if everybody he meets treats him as worthless. Les says to maintain diplomatic relations with others, we must recognize others, and he also talks about the principal causes of dissatisfaction among workers are 1. Failure to give credit for suggestions. 2. Failure to correct grievances. 3. Failure to encourage. 4. Criticizing workers in front of others. 5. Failure to ask workers their opinions. 6. Failure to inform workers of their progress. 7. Favoritism. Les gives 4 ways to make others feel important. 1. Think other people are essential. Believe that every human is important. We can't make others feel important if we secretly feel they are nobodies. 2. Notice people. We only notice things that are important to us. But when somebody notices us, they pay us a big compliment. They recognize our importance and give a boost to our morale. As a result, we become more friendly and more cooperative with them. So we must notice people and try to acknowledge everyone in the group. 3. Do not compete with people. If we want to make a good impression on others, the most effective way is to let them know that we are impressed by them. But when we compete with them, they are firmly convinced that we are fools. 4. Know when to correct others. When we correct or contradict others, it is not to settle any real problems, but to increase our feeling of importance. But ask yourself, does it make any real difference whether they are right or wrong? Don't try to win all the battles. Chapter 4. Controlling the actions and attitudes of others. We exercise control over others, but do not know that we are exercising this power, and we often use it against ourselves. Each of us constantly influences and controls the actions of those with whom we come in contact. We have to adopt the attitude we want others to express. In dealing with others, we see our own attitude reflected back to us in their behavior. It is like we are standing before a mirror. When we smile, the person in the mirror smiles. When we frown, they frown. And when we shout, they shout back. Just as we can make people enthusiastic, we can give people confidence in us by acting confidently. If we believe in ourselves and act as if we believe in ourselves, others will believe in us. Confidence has a way of showing itself in specific ways. We may never realize why we have confidence in a particular person. Subconsciously, we all judge others by following signs and clues. 1. Watch your movements, because our physical movements reflect our mental attitudes. When someone walks with drooping shoulders, we think their burdens are too heavy to bear. They seem to carry the weight of discouragement and despair. A confident person steps out boldly. Their shoulders are back, and their eyes look out and up to a goal they feel confident they can attain. 2. Your tattletale handshake. A person with a limp, dishrag handshake is low on self-confidence. The bone crusher is apt to be compensating for lack of self-esteem. The firm handshake with just a little squeeze says, I have got a firm grasp of things, and denotes self-confidence. 3. Moderate your tone of voice. The voice is the most highly developed means of communication. Our voice should not express hopelessness, not get into the habit of whining, and should never mumble. Instead, we must express courage and speak up confidently. 4. Use the magic switch of a smile. A genuine, sincere smile turns on a friendly feeling in others. Smile from within, not just with facial expressions. We all are blessed with a good smile and must let it out. Chapter 5. Creating a good impression. How we approach others, our first words and our actions set the tone for the entire encounter. If we are discussing business, start off in a business-like tone. If you wish to be informal, begin informally. Every time we deal with others, we are setting a stage. If we set the stage for comedy, don't be serious. If we set the stage for tragedy, don't expect others to be frivolous. Before we go into any discussion, ask yourself, what do I really want from this? What mood should prevail? Then create the tone that will set the stage. The world forms about us the same opinion we hold about ourselves. The world will take us at face value when we act as if we are nobody. But when we act as though we are somebody, the world has no choice but to treat us as somebody. Every time we judge something, we give others a clue to judging us. While selling, when we need our prospects to say yes, Put others in a yes mood by creating a positive and affirmative atmosphere. One good rule is to get others to say yes to preliminary questions like, "Isn't this a beautiful color? Don't you agree this is fine artistry?" It will be easier for them to say yes to your big questions too. Chapter 6. Attracting people with acceptance, approval, and appreciation. In our lives, we have few people, or we know few people who seem to attract friends and customers naturally. These people use the triple A formula to feed the three basic hunger of all people. 1. Acceptance. We must accept people as they are. Allow them to be themselves. Don't insist that anyone be perfect or change before we can like them. Those who accept and like people and accept them just as they are have the most influence in changing others' behavior for the better. No one has the power to reform others, but by liking others as they are, we give them the power to change themselves. 2. Approval. Approval means something more positive as it goes beyond tolerating faults and finding something we can like. We can always find something to approve of in others. When others get the taste of our approval, they will change their behavior to gain approval for other things. We must seek things out, praise them, and can watch people glow. 3. Appreciation. The word appreciates means to rise in value. Consider how valuable others are to us. Our wives, husbands, children, bosses, employees, customers, etc. Find ways to let others know you highly value them. Below are some ways to show appreciation. 4. Don't keep people waiting. If we cannot see immediately, acknowledge their presence. Let them know we will be with them as soon as possible. 5. Thank people. Express gratitude towards those who have helped you, no matter how small their contributions may seem. Show appreciation for their efforts by thanking them, as this will demonstrate how much you value their support. 6. Treat people as specials. A person with an attractive personality offers food to feed the basic hunger of people. We must start using the triple A formula for attracting people. Chapter 7. Learning to communicate effectively. One thing successful people have in common is the skill of using words. Earning power and word skill are so close to each other that we can safely expect to increase our earnings simply by increasing our word power. Many people are unhappy because they cannot express themselves and carry their ideas and emotions bottled up. Many people are handicapped if they do not know how to start a conversation. We can start a conversation with a small discussion. If we do not know how to move forward in a conversation, we can get people to talk about themselves. Next time we get introduced to someone, try warming up the person with the questions like, "Where are you from? What do you think of our weather? Do you have a family? What business are you in?" These questions get the others talking about themselves and are superfine openers. We don't have to search for a topic of mutual interest. We can start them off on the one topic on which they are experts. It is natural to be tempted to talk about ourselves. We want to shine. We want to impress others. But we will rate much higher in others' estimation if we turn the conversation to them rather than to ourselves. We can talk about ourselves when we are invited and asked. If others are interested, they will ask. Then talk about yourself, but do not overdo it. Use happy talk. A person who falls into the habit of talking pessimistically, of constantly relating his personal problems, will not win a popularity contest. We should go to a counselor or a trusted friend if we have personal problems. Describing our sufferings does not make us hero but make us bored. If we really want to express our suffering, we can follow one exercise. Try writing ourselves a letter. We need to put down exactly what we feel, don't hold back. Then when we are through, we must burn the letter. It has served its purpose in giving us an outlet, and we should experience relief. We should overcome the temptation to tease or be sarcastic. Most of us tease others because we think they will like it. Husbands tease their wives and vice versa in public, mistakenly believing it is a cute way to show affection. We make sarcastic remarks hoping others will recognize our cleverness, see the humor, and not take personal offense. Teasing or taunting both target people's self-esteem and anything threatening is dangerous, even when done in fun. If the other person has known you long enough, likes you well enough, and you do not overdo it, we may get away with teasing. But the odds are so great against it that it is much safer not to try. Chapter 8. Listening. Listening to others sympathetically is perhaps the most effective mechanism in the world for getting along with people and trying up their friendship for good. Most of us want others to think that we are clever and intelligent. The one sure way to convince people of that is to listen and pay attention to what they say. People will tell us what they want if we listen to them. Good human relation is two-way communication, give and take, action and response. We are out of touch with them if we don't know what others want, how they feel about a situation, and their particular needs. And if we cannot touch them, we cannot move them. Successful people encourage others to talk and keep talking while keeping their mouths shut. Listening helps overcome self-consciousness. Listening carefully to what others have to say, paying strict attention to their tone of voice and inflection of words, gets our focus of attention off ourselves. We must listen carefully, sympathetically, and patiently. One of the highest compliments we can pay is to listen to someone. We can practice the art of listening by following below pointers. 1. Look at the person who is talking. People worth listening to are worth looking at, and it will also help us concentrate on what they are saying. 2. Appear deeply interested. If you agree, nod your head. If they tell a story, smile. 3. Lean towards the person. Ever notice how you tend to lean towards an exciting speaker and away from a dull one? 4. Ask questions. This lets people know you are still listening. 5. Don't interrupt. Instead, ask for more. People are highly complimented if you allow them to finish without interruption. But they are really flattered when you draw them out with "Would you mind elaborating on that last point?" 6. Stick to the speaker's subject. Don't change subjects, no matter how anxious you are about a topic. 7. Use the speaker's words to get your point across. Repeat some of the points covered. This not only proves that you have been listening, but it allows you to introduce your own ideas without opposition. Preface your own remarks with, "As you pointed out." Chapter 9. People to agree. Every day, some situation arises where disagreements arise with our mate, children, boss, employee, customer, neighbor, friend, or enemy. The natural response is to argue. We must learn to make our natural response persuasive. When someone opposes our ideas, we take them as a threat to our ego. We become emotional and hostile and try to ram our idea into our opponent's throat. We exaggerate our arguments. This way, do not win. The only way to win an argument is for others to change their minds. Low pressure is the secret. We must learn to work with human nature rather than against it if we want power over people. When we tell someone their ideas are stupid, they will defend them forever. When we use threats, they close their minds against our ideas, regardless of how good they may be. When we attempt to sell ideas, we must appeal to the subconscious because no idea is really accepted until the subconscious mind accepts it. Rules for winning arguments. 1. Allow others to state their case. Don't interrupt. Remember to listen. A person with something to say has their mind set on talking. They are not tuned to listen to our ideas until they have said their piece. If we want our ideas heard, we must learn to listen to theirs first. 2. Pause before you answer. This works equally well in a conversation without a different opinion. When asked a question, look at the person and pause slightly before answering. This leads others to know that you consider what he has said of sufficient importance to think about it. 3. Don't insist on winning 100%. When we get into an argument, most of us attempt to prove that we are totally in the right and others are wrong. If the other person has a point in their favor, acknowledge it. 4. State your case moderately and accurately. We have the tendency to exaggerate when our ideas are opposed. Calmly stated facts are the most effective in getting others to change their minds. 5. Speak through third parties. The lawyer who wants to win a case rounds up witnesses who testify to the points he wants to put over the jury. Speaking through third parties can be valuable when there is a difference of opinion, and we want others to see things our way. Statistics, records, history, and quotes can all be cited. 6. Allow others to save face. There will be many times that others would gladly change their mind and agree with you except for one thing. They have already made a definite commitment, a firm stand, and cannot change their position in good grace. To agree with you requires them to admit that they were wrong. We must know how to rescue them from their own argument. The first method is to assume they did not have all the facts. I felt the same way about it at first, until I ran across this interesting information which changed the picture. The second method is to suggest some way that they can pass the buck to another. Chapter 10. Giving praise. Praise releases energy. Praise gives us new energy and new life. The lift we get from praise is not an illusion nor imagination but an actual physical energy. Perform a minor miracle every day. Anytime we can give another's spirits a lift or imbues them with more energy and life. It's simple. All we have to do is to give sincere praise to someone each day and notice how it enables them to do better. Honest praise and giving credit where it is due to make people feel better and allow them to work more productively. If someone does you a small favor, show your appreciation and give them credit by saying thank you. Look for the things for which we can thank people. Don't take it for granted that people know you appreciate them. Tell them. Letting people know that you appreciate their actions makes them want to do more and better. Rules for saying thank you. 1. Thanks should be sincere. Say it as if you mean. Put some meaning and life into it. Make it special. 2. Don't mumble it. Speak up. Don't act as though you are half ashamed to have to thank someone. 3. Thank people by name. Personalize thanks by naming people. If several people are in the group to be thanked, don't just say thanks, everyone, but name each person. 4. Look at people when you thank them. If they are worth being thanked, they are worth being looked at. 5. Work at thanking people. Consciously and deliberately begin to look for things for which to thank others. 6. Thank people when they least expect it. A thank you is even more powerful when others don't expect it or don't necessarily feel that they deserve it. No one is perfect. It is said that it is suitable for everyone. If someone irritates you, begin looking for something you can compliment them on. The most aspects of administering praise are: 1. It must be sincere. Mere flattery is transparent and accomplishes nothing. There is always something that deserves praise if you are for it. It is far better to praise people for something minor and mean it than for something big and be insincere. 2. Praise the act or the attribute rather than the person. Praise people for what they do rather than who they are. People know exactly what they are being praised for. Increase your happiness and peace of mind by paying 5 sincere compliments daily. Chapter 11. Criticizing others without offending them. One of the most common failings in human relations is how we attempt to increase our own feeling of self-worth by lowering the self-esteem of others. Most of the time, when we say to people, "I am telling you this for your own good," we are not. We are pointing out some fault in them to bolster our own egos. The real art of criticism is not to beat others down, but to build them up. It is not to hurt feelings but to help people do a better job. The essentials of successful criticism. 1. Criticism must be made in absolute privacy. If you want your criticism to take effect, you must not engage the other's ego against you. The mildest form of criticism made in the presence of others is likely to be resented. Even if you have pure motives and the right spirit, how they feel about it counts. 2. Preface criticism with a friendly word. Kind words, compliments, and praise create a friendly atmosphere. Praise and compliments open minds to what needs to be said. 3. Make the criticism impersonal. Criticize the act, not the person. By pinpointing your criticism to their actions, you can pay them a compliment and build up their ego at the same time. 4. Supply the answer. When you tell others what they did wrong, tell them how to do it right. The emphasis should not be on the mistake but on the way to correct it and avoid a reoccurrence. 5. Ask for cooperation. Don't demand it. Asking always brings more cooperation than demanding. 6. One criticism of offense. To call attention to one error one time is justified. Twice is necessary. 3 times is nagging. 7. Finish in a friendly manner. Until an issue has been resolved on a friendly note, it has not been finished. Don't leave things hanging to be brought up later. Get it settled. Bury it. Finish with a vote of confidence. I know I can count on you. By following these 11 rules, together with people, we can go a long way and improve all the relationships related to our life. The Art of Dealing with People Book Review. The Art of Dealing with People by Leg Gitlin is a timeless classic that delves into the intricacies of human interaction and communication. Giblin's writing is clear, concise, and easy to follow, allowing readers to quickly grasp the fundamental principles of building effective relationships. The book offers valuable insights into understanding human behavior, emphasizing the importance of empathy, active listening, And the power of praise. Gidlin's practical advice helps readers enhance their communication skills, making them better equipped to deal with various personalities and situations. The examples provided throughout the book and the relatable anecdotes contribute to its overall applicability. One of the most notable aspects of the art of dealing with people is its relevance to personal and professional relationships. Gidlin's principles can be applied to the workplace, family life, and social interactions, making it an essential guide for anyone looking to improve their relationships and communication skills. Though the book was initially published in 1968, its timeless wisdom remains as pertinent today as it was over 5 decades ago. The Art of Dealing with People is a must-read for those seeking to enhance their interpersonal skills, develop better relationships, and navigate the complexities of human interaction with grace and confidence.